This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
All right, welcome to DBL. We're here with Lindsay and Al. Good to see you.
What's going on, guys?
Just for transparency, wanted to let you know our prompter's down because technology. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we got these old school. This is a piece of paper. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
With pen, and we're going to read from them. All right. Today we're starting with news. I don't know if you know about Elon Musk, right? He is the richest man in the world, and his sex life. That's what we're talking about. The Wall Street Journal published a story this weekend alleging that Elon Musk had an affair with the now ex-wife of his longtime friend Sergey Brin. Don't know who that is? Don't worry, he's just the 9th wealthiest person in the world and a co-founder of Google. Might have heard of that. Sergey filed for divorce from Nicole Shanahan in January, citing irreconcilable differences. Now Musk has responded, tweeting, "This is total bleep. Sergey and I are friends, and we were at a party last night." He then went on to say, quote, "I haven't had sex in ages. Sigh." Elon also gave this picture to the New York Post of him and Sergey at a party. He said it took it 2 hours ago as proof that the two are still friends. So, Al, Lindsay, what do you guys think about this story and the Wall Street Journal publishing this? This isn't Page 6. Yeah. This isn't TMZ. This is a very grown-up business newspaper. Linz, what do you think?
That picture doesn't count because, like, if Al and I are in the same venue, like, you can't be two people behind me doing something different, and I say that this proves we're friends. Like, he's obviously doing his own thing, but I think it's like a reality show, like the world's richest versus the world's 9th richest man in the world.
It just shows you can always level up.
Right, and I think that if this is true, the guy from Google is probably like, out of everybody in the world, you had to go for like the 1% and the 1% that's like ahead of me in finances in my same industry. It's just like the ultimate disrespect, especially because they have a history of friendship. From what I read, Sergey reportedly gave him $500 million. $500,000. I thought it was million. I was about to say he's very, very rich. Okay, so he gave him $500,000 to invest in Tesla when it wasn't as big as it is now. And Elon gave Sergey one of the first Tesla trucks to test out. So they are actually like at least associates. So I think a wife should be off limit even for just associates.
So you believe the rumor, mostly because it's like Wall Street Journal.
Well, I love a good Wall Street Journal. Like you love the New York Times. So I'm going to go ahead.
2 in your lifetime.
Yeah, and believe it. Yeah.
Al, what do you think?
You know, Lindsay, what you said got me thinking. And when we start talking about the 9th richest person on the planet as opposed to the richest person on the planet, I think when you have the kind of money that Elon has, you can buy anything. So you want things that you can't have. You want things that money can't buy because that's the only thing that separates billionaires. Like once you get into that thing, we can all buy yachts. I don't care about your yacht. I have the only set of dinosaur fossils. I have the only outfit that Elvis wore on his last show. That's why people want, and it sounds bad. I'm not trying to commodify this human being, but his friend's wife was something that could not be purchased. It was something that he wanted, and he's never had an opportunity to want something and not get it. And I feel like he went after his friend's wife, which is a foul act.
A foul act.
I got to go back to like the 1800s.
Yeah, that is
foul.
Lawyer. Like that is a foul act.
Objection. I do have to ask, why would the Wall Street Journal care about this? One, they're a business magazine, really conservative, good, strong magazine, right? One, he is in a Twitter war fight, right? So that's something they're interested in. Twitter is suing him because he's not buying Twitter for $44 billion. And two, on May 18th, Elon posted, "The personal attacks on me will escalate as the months come." I wonder, do you guys think this is a hit because of that Twitter thing, and Wall Street Journal's just trying to take a hit out on Elon Musk?
But also you said, why did the Wall Street Journal cover this? Like they cover everybody finance, everything finance. And so Elon Musk represents finance right now. And also there's reports that Sergey took his money out of his, like he had invested in some of Elon's companies. And so that has to do with where Twitter's going based on his drama, where his other investments going. So I think like it's relevant, even though it's dramatic. And it gives Wall Street Journal a new audience.
And also, Lindsay, don't forget, his personal life is very relevant to just the stock market. Do you remember when he hosted SNL?
Yep.
And there was that thing of if he mentioned Dogecoin or Dogecoin, the stock would go up. So that's a direct, you messing around on SNL is going to affect the stock market directly. So when you are that guy having a tumultuous, personal life, is definitely going to affect the economy as well, which I think that speaks worse for the economy in our system than anything if one kind of weirdo billionaire can make things change like this.
I will say the Wall Street Journal also is saying he went down on one knee at a party and begged for forgiveness from Sergey. And I think for the soap opera about this, we should call it Musky.
Oh, right.
I thought you were about to say musty. I'm like, I don't.
No, musty.
I was just like, I know, I get it.
Okay, moving on. Okay. This brings up an interesting conversation. Say, just picture this, hypothetical. Your best friend, you find out that your best friend's husband is cheating, okay? Do you tell your best friend or do you confront the husband? What do we think about this? What are the rules? What is the etiquette? You find out this awful thing. Do you go to the guy, again, and this is a heteronormative example, and say, you either tell her or I will, or do you go to your best friend?
So the only exception to what I'm about to say is that it has to be like my best friend, Tiffany. But what I would do is keep my master's degree and minding my business. Like, that's your whole marriage, and I'm sure you understand the person that you decided to spend the rest of your life with. If you're that bamboozled by their actions, I'm sure you'll figure it out sooner or later. And unless it's really directly like I can't go to sleep at night without looking you in the face because I talk to you every day, that's the only way I'm getting involved in somebody's marriage. Because you could walk over there and they could say you catch them at dinner. They could be at a business dinner. You look like a clown. Like, how are you confronting somebody? In what fashion are you confronting somebody? You know, I would just say, oh my God, I saw your husband out while I was eating. Like, and I would leave it at that. I wouldn't be like, I saw your husband out with this girl.
I see.
I was at Ruth Chris, so was he.
I had a filet mignon.
Yeah.
What if you saw them kissing at that dinner?
Again, master's degree, minding my business.
I mean, I'm Team Lindsay with that answer because that's how I feel. But I think the actual practice of it would be harder for us because you love your best friend Tiffany. I love my homie, and I think to be pretty sure
about it. I thought you were saying you love me.
No, I love
so
you
thanks
too.
so much.
But to be pretty sure about it, or absolutely sure, and then kind of be a distance, like, hey, they live in a different state. That's
and what if they have an open marriage and didn't discuss it with you because you're not in their bed?
But then
you're awkwardly.
Shouldn't your best friend be like, hey, I'm in an open marriage? You never have 4 glasses of wine with your best friend. That's gonna come out. Like, yes.
For me, I 100% would say it. Now, probably I get in trouble because you're right. Stay out of people's bedrooms. But to me, this is such a violation that I at least give them the heads up. But I wouldn't go to the husband because I'm too scared of confrontation.
So you would go to your friend?
I go to my best friend and be like, I'm a little bit worried. I don't know the whole facts, but I want you to know something smells fishy like a Seattle fish market on a Saturday in the summer.
Okay.
So
people don't like that analogy.
Yeah, they don't.
It's a weird place to be, but I think if you saw the person do that and then you see them at a party and your best friend Tiffany's with this guy you know is cheating, and
let's stop saying Tiffany because she's in a very happy relationship. But I was just saying that's the only person that I would make the exception.
Let's say friend Terry. It could be a man or a woman or however they identify non-binary.
Does it matter, man or woman?
It would be hard to look at it.
But also, if they stay together, then at every time you see your best friend with or best guy friend with their wife or husband, now you were the person that tried to cause the rift, and now the husband or wife probably has a problem with you.
Yes.
Because you decided to jump and do double dutch into their relationship.
Yeah, and now you're just there.
And now you're just awkwardly there, and they're still going strong.
Or you save someone from being really hurt. No.
But I have to lean. It's hard, but I do agree with Lindsay just in the fact that whatever is going on in their home, you cannot know. Because once somebody shuts their front door, you may think that they have a normal relationship, whatever that means, but you don't know. They could be in an open relationship. They could be in a sexless relationship, but only on one side. You just don't know.
But I would want someone to come to me and be like, hey, I don't know about that, and that's totally fine, but I saw something, and I'm your best friend, and I want to bring it up to you. I would do that, but I wouldn't do it to a man, which I think is interesting. I would do it to a woman, not a man.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I could see it.
But I should get my master's in minding my own business. I love that. Coming up, would you ever go to Disney World without your kids?
No.
Why Disney adults are getting blasted online. And terrifying video of a shark breaching this diver's cage. How the man was able to escape after the break. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning provided by
All right, so Lindsay, what are you saying?
I was saying the weird thing is that I've actually had this conversation around a group of girls that I'm really cool with them, but like I said, they're not the one person that I named. And I was like, no, I would if I saw you guys' husband or partner. And they started asking me, have you seen him out? And I'm like, no, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know what you guys have going on. They're like, and they're all screaming, like, tell me, but like, I've been in a situation where I did speak up before.
Yeah.
And I've been in a situation where the girl just stopped speaking to me.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
you
what-
become
And
the
stayed
enemy.
with the guy.
You
And so
become the enemy.
I would prefer to keep my friendship.
Right.
And I'm not saying everybody behaves like that, but I'm sure at some point you understand the person that you're married to.
Yeah, but what if you didn't know? Like, if I didn't know and I was being fooled, I don't want to come across. I don't want to be a fool either.
You're assuming that they don't know, and like I think, thank you.
They might turn a blind eye. They want you to not get caught, not be seen by their friends. But most people, I would assume no. I'm just guessing that from basic
Or they
common
feel- or
knowledge.
they
Like,
feel it.
hey, he comes home at 4 a.m.
Smelling
Hey,
like this.
he just wasn't at work today.
I also just think, there's a lot of situations where people are in a don't ask, don't tell relationship where they're like, we are ethically non-monogamous. And I think that's a lot more people
Oh, I
than
agree.
you think.
But
So
if
it's
your
like,
friend, even if I didn't know that, I'd still want to let you know. I still
Because
want
it's
to let you know the
embarrassing if
information.
it's the case and you didn't tell your friend,
Right.
And then they find out
and you
separately.
knew- right.
Then that becomes embarrassing with something that you were maybe okay with.
That's right.
So that's
That's
why
right.
maybe we should just. But I also I'm not a person to sit there and discuss what's going on in my relationship randomly.
yeah.
So
Right.
I don't know why they would owe it to a friend to explain what you decided with your partner.
Right.
So that's kind of like a weird situation. Just say, okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. And what's weird is I would do it to a girl, but if it was like I'm a guy friend of mine and the girl was cheating,
And also,
I don't know if I go to the
there's
guy.
also this
Right.
element, Tori, where like we're not in high
Then
school
the
anymore,
girl
so
would
it's hard to make
definitely,
friends
absolutely,
again.
100% hate you.
100%.
Yes.
If
You
she's
would
my
never,
friend, I
yeah,
don't care, you know?
but then they might never speak to you again.
True,
The guy
very
friend.
true.
It might be like she liked you all the time.
Yeah, move on, right? Welcome back. Shark Week is kicking off on Discovery, and tomorrow we have wildlife biologist Forrest Gunlati on the show. He's going to talk all about the major rise in shark attacks along the East Coast and what to do if you do get attacked. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of which, check out this clip. It's from Discovery's Great White Open Ocean. Okay, it's a man in a small clear cage, okay? He is being attacked by a great white shark. The shark actually flips the cage over. The man struggles to get back in. Finally, he just ditches it and swims away. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, why would you do that? No, why do people like this put themselves in such dangerous situations? And I do know there's a genetic need for adrenaline in some people. Al, you studied medicine, you're kind of a doctor.
Yes, I'm kind of a doctor. And I do know that some people, whether it's like being attacked by sharks or almost being attacked by sharks, are jumping out of. Hey, Lindsay, you ever seen somebody like jump on out of a helicopter with like skis on and then they ski down the mountain? That kind of personality that does stuff like that is the same kind of personality that does stuff like this with sharks. You need that adrenaline. You need to be in the middle of it where it looks crazy to us, but those people draw eyeballs, and Shark Week has drawn eyeballs for like what, the last
34 seasons,
Wow,
I just found out.
I thought it was like 24.
34. It's
What is
almost-
the dollar amount on your life for drawing those eyeballs? That's ridiculous.
I'm sure there's an amount.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, who does this? Like, why would you willingly do this? And this is coming from, I grew up in the place where all these shark attacks are happening in Long Island. There was Long Beach, Jones Beach, all over the weekend. They were talking about them in the last week. And I'm terrified of sharks. Jaws is literally my biggest horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, I hate Jaws. So this, I can't imagine willingly doing this and
Yeah,
then
I
it
don't-
going wrong.
yeah,
This is just the biggest disaster. I would prefer to jump out of a plane with skis.
There we go. And the bigger question, do we still need new footage for Shark Week? Can't we just rerun the stuff from last year? Like, would you know?
Like, this can run for the next 10 years and be
exactly.
good. You don't need another man
People would be
almost
like,
getting
"That's a
eaten by a great
2009
white.
shark."
I was going to say, this is 2003. Don't worry about it. All right, speaking of close encounters with sea creatures. I have to do this. Check out this video of a whale breaching out of the water in Massachusetts. It lands on the bow of a small boat. No injuries or major damage to the boat were reported. This is my worst nightmare. I'm very, very scared of the wall.
What about the damage to the whale? It might have a concussion. It hit its head on the boat.
But whales are made of like all muscle.
Yes, and I just want to say, and Lindsay, I don't know if you know how terrified Tori is of
I don't
things
like
in the
them.
water, so I'm really impressed with you with that
Thanks.
story.
That you read it through, yeah.
wanna
I
see
thought
it.
you were gonna have to pick it up.
Yeah, I know. It was.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, that's like, would you go on a whale watching?
Yeah, I think whales
Have you?
are cute, like Free Willy. That's what I get the vibe of, not a shark. I don't know if whales are actually nice, but I think they seem nicer than sharks.
That's my fear, though. They come up underneath the water and knock your little tourist boat off. Like, clearly it can happen. I thought they can't have how do they?
They are very gentle. You're absolutely right. They're a matriarchal society. The mother rules the roost, but I still just, the size is too scary. All right, let's move on. This next story is kind of scary, too. A 73-year-old woman was on a boat that was deep sea fishing off the Florida coast, and an angler on the boat caught this. It's a 100-pound sailfish. It looks just like this. They were trying to reel it in, and the fish charged the boat and then jumped out of the water. The fish stabbed the woman. She was airlifted to the hospital. Turns out she's going to be fine and was listed in good condition as of Sunday. I did a little research. She was struck in the groin area, so not pleasant for anyone.
Yeah, and also like the groin area, I know it's kind of goofy, silly,
Right.
but you have an artery there where you could bleed out immediately. Your femoral artery, if that gets punctured, you'll bleed out in 30-some seconds. So I mean, that's really super, super dangerous. And have you been deep sea fishing? I know Jeff does that.
Well, Colin does it every time we go on vacation, or likes to do it in general. And I really don't like to see, I like to eat fish, but I don't like to see the fish go from its life and everything it knows to the cooler that we find. Yeah. It just is a very, and I don't eat. I go vegan for 2 weeks every time he does it. But
wow.
Yeah.
That's like Mitch Hedberg has a joke about when you catch a fish and throw it back, you're just trying to make it late for something. It's a great joke. All right, coming up on DBL, you or someone you know may be a Disney adult. Why the internet is trashing this obsession. That's coming up next.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 4 in 5 people who are positive with COVID-19 have Omicron subvariant BA.5. The number of BA.5 cases has increased since early June. Now, some people on social media are sharing their experiences getting reinfected with BA.5 soon after recovering from COVID-19. So, let's verify. Is the BA.5 subvariant of COVID-19 more likely than other subvariants to reinfect people? Our sources are the CDC, the World Health Organization, Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, and Dr. Anthony Fauci, Chief Medical Advisor to President Joe Biden. When a person recovers from COVID-19, they have some natural immunity from reinfection. The WHO estimates people who recovered prior to the spread of Omicron had 90% protection from reinfection. But those odds have changed with Omicron and its subvariants. And people who had a prior variant now have just 40% protection from reinfection against BA.5.
If you were infected with BA.1, you really don't have a lot of good protection against BA.4/5.
Similarly, researchers at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center studied people who had immunity from either a prior infection or a vaccine. They found antibody responses to BA.4 or BA.5 were about 3 times lower than Omicron variants BA.1 or BA.2. So, yes, the BA.5 subvariant of COVID-19 is more likely than other subvariants to reinfect people. Still, health officials say vaccines offer a high level of protection against serious illness and death. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Hey there. So we all know there are certain adults who are kids at heart, right? I'm one of them. But there's one specific group of kidults, I didn't know they called that, who are getting trashed online. We're talking about the Disney adult. So someone who lives and breathes the brand, from buying limited edition mouse ears to taking multiple trips to the park every year without kids. Disney adults love sharing their experiences on social media, and we found a couple of them. So let's take a look at this. This is a woman running through the crowd on Disney's Main Street without any kids in tow. Move out of the way.
I love the stutter step.
But there is nothing compared to the Disney adults who cry and cry when at the park. This woman posted her, quote, ugly cry as she entered the parks and saw Cinderella's castle. Check out this other woman who started crying hysterically when she saw the character Stitch on stage. And then there's this woman who got emotional when she saw Goofy walking toward her, eventually running to him for a hug. But why do these happy videos make people cringe so badly? This person wrote, quote, adults going to Disney, perfectly fine and healthy Disney adults, a menace. And then this one, I'm fine with Disney adults, but some of y'all grown people need to remember there's another adult in the costume.
That's funny. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Disney adults, do we know them? Do we love them? Are we them?
Oh, I definitely know. You don't know. You seem like do you know anybody that's a Disney
No,
adult?
I mean, it crossed my mind before I had a child.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'd like to go to Disney World and check it out, but I never actually pursued it. And then most recently, I actually saw a guy I dated years ago get engaged at Disney, and I was like, this is exactly why it didn't work. I would hate that. That would be my nightmare.
Colin proposed.
I told Colin that day. I said, yo, I saw this picture. Please never do this. I don't care if you propose at the house in the living room. Do not do Disney World.
Yeah.
Or land or anything. I like Disney, but I don't want to get married there. I don't want to do anything adult like there. Just
right.
Bring
People get
Kinsley and
married
make
there.
an excuse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I think a lot of people live in fantasy. So it's like, we look at people that we see how big Comic-Con has gotten. A lot of adults like to dress up, and a lot of adults like to be in that kind of cosplay. It looks strange here, but like when we see that Halloween, somebody goes crazy. All these celebrities make these incredible costumes. A lot of adults like to dress up in cosplay and be in a fantasy world, comic books, all that kind of stuff. Not for me, but I get it. Well, here's a turn. It just makes me feel weird. I don't like being anywhere where there are a bunch of kids and I don't have my kids. It's like back when I used to drink, like I hated bars where there was like a section where kids could be in there.
Oh, yeah.
I like to be in a sad bar. I don't want to see kids with their whole life in front of them. Like I want to be here with the sad adults in the dark. So like I don't like to have kids around if I don't have my kids. Is that weird?
No, what's funny to me is like I go to Disneyland without kids. I don't have kids. And we would go, Brooks and I, we had annual passes.
How many times a year would you go?
Like 2 or 3. And we didn't cry or anything, but it was like, it was a very enjoyable night out. And you could go get dinner and you could spend the whole day and it was exciting. I'd rather be with a Disney adult than someone who likes like violent things, right? I don't care.
Are those the only two options?
Killer or Disney?
Disney or violence. When someone's really passionate
Just
about
somebody who wants to watch Netflix?
Yeah, like when someone's super passionate about like a Yorkshire Terrier or something, I find that really endearing, actually. I think it's really neat that you're so passionate.
But does it cross a line where you're like, that's a little, like if we all went to Disney, we're all chilling, Lindsay, you go get some pretzels, you get the lemonade, we'll meet, and then you guys come back and I'm bawling in tears meeting Goofy, are you not going to text Colin like, you need to come pick me up? Like,
okay.
It's
ASAP.
True.
Yes,
Like,
quick note on that. That woman who ran to Goofy, her papa, he reminded her of her papa.
That's even
and
worse.
And he loved Goofy, and that's why she ran and cried. It was to be connected with her late papa.
But that first run was the funniest thing to me. I almost got hysterical,
Yeah.
but I reeled it in.
Yeah. I mean,
she was like, it looked like a track meet or something.
Yeah, it was like, get kids and women out of the way.
That's ridiculous.
Just walking.
I just want to imagine that's not an adult. That's like just a mature teen, because that's can't.
It's not good. All right, we'll be right back. Let us know your Disney stories.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
So how do we save energy and money during these hot days? Should we turn the thermostat up or off when we go out? We found this post on Reddit, Austin. Logical007 wrote, unless I'm going to be gone for the whole day, it doesn't make sense to turn off the AC. The post has nearly 250 comments. So let's verify. Could everyone turn off their air conditioner during the day to lower their power bill? We showed this post to these experts.
It has to do with how efficient your air conditioner is. It has to do with how efficient and well-sealed your house is, how well insulated it is. It is the way air conditioners work is they move heat from inside of your house to outside.
Depending on how hot it is outside, it might take a very long time for the system to recover. Central air conditioners are not designed or should not be designed in residential applications to quickly recover the temperature in the house.
And Don Brandt, a fellow with the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers, added, remember, when you cut the AC off, not only does the air temp rise, but the entire contents of the house rise in temperature. So could everyone turn their air conditioner off during the day to lower their power bill? Logical007 is right. This would be false. So while it may lower the costs for some folks, other factors like humidity and condensation may make it harmful in the long run. Our experts say the best way for your air conditioner to save on energy during these hot days is to turn the thermostat up a few degrees.
You just tested positive for COVID-19. Do you need to tell your employer? Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that COVID-19 cases are on the rise again, as the highly contagious and immune-evasive BA.5 subvariant of Omicron remains dominant in the United States. Verify viewer Troy emailed the team to ask whether a person is obligated by law to notify their employer if they test positive for COVID-19. So Troy, let's verify. We went to these sources for an answer. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, a federal agency tasked with ensuring safe and healthy workplaces, recommends that workers tell their supervisors if they have tested positive for COVID-19, so that employers can take steps to protect other workers. But according to an OSHA spokesperson, they're not required to do so. In March 2020, Day Pitney LLP also wrote that employers should still ask or strongly encourage employees to report a positive COVID-19 test result, but workers cannot be forced to disclose test results under current law. So we can verify, no, employees are not legally required to report positive COVID-19 tests. But if you do test positive, the CDC recommends isolating for 5 days. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Did you know that it's National Wine and Cheese Day?
Whoa.
Any of you have plans?
I gotta go make some.
Me too.
It's my type of holiday.
That's the only type of holiday. Well, did you also know that regular wine drinking will stain your teeth? Yes, it's true. Beverages like wine, they have acids and natural dyes that do stain and etch teeth over time and could turn your mouth purple. So what can you do to keep your smile shining brightly? Well, you could give Smile Actives a try. Smile Actives is a safe, effective, and easy to use. 97% of Smile Actives users in a clinical trial reported up to 6 shades whiter on average, all within 30 days. So you can rest assured that your smile will stay white and bright even after today's celebration of wine and cheese. Call 1-800-531-1397 or visit smileactives.com for a special buy one, get one free offer. You'll see all of the results with none of the hassle. Very nice.
I just love that. You can now enjoy your wine.
Yeah, and
or just drink white wine.
You could do white wine. A lot of people writing in, someone saying Goofy is my favorite. Do you guys have a favorite Disney character?
I missed that boat, Lindsay. You know, I don't get it. I never thought Disney was funny. Donald Duck did nothing for me. Minnie.
Did Mickey?
The way Donald Duck talks is kind of funny.
What is their skill set?
Well, I watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse with Kinsley now. He does a lot. He makes the house come out of the ground. He does a lot. Yeah, he's magical.
All right, we'll come back next week when we have another episode of Elon Muskie on the soap opera. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.